Hi there, I'm Brian Whitmore, Director of the Russia program here at CEPA, and this is a vertical video. So, I've got Georgia on my mind, which isn't all that surprising since I just spent a week in Tbilisi, and I'm about to spend another week in Batumi. But the real reason I've got Georgia on my mind is because of the resilience of the Georgian street. Young civil society activists who want to take their country into the Euro-Atlantic community and who are concerned that it's slowly slipping back into the Russian sphere of influence. They've been on the streets in Tbilisi every day for weeks now, and they're refusing to be co-opted by any political party or movement. And they're showing no signs of letting up. The proximate cause of the Tbilisi demonstrations was the sight of Russian State Duma Deputy Sergei Gavrilov, who was active in the war in Abkhazia, occupying the speaker's chair in the Georgian parliament during a meeting of the Parliamentary Assembly of Orthodox Nations. But the underlying cause runs much, much deeper. And this has all caught the Kremlin by surprise, because Vladimir Putin's regime has been playing a long game in Georgia, slowly eroding, undermining, and blocking its path to the West. Moscow has used far-right proxies and quislings to divide Georgians over issues like LGBT rights. It's deployed oligarchic networks to attempt to undermine a project to build a deep-water port at Anaklia, which many consider vital to Georgia's security and prosperity. And it's used the Orthodox Church to attempt to keep Georgia in Moscow's fold. But then the Georgian street stepped in. Then Georgian civil society made its voice heard. And that seems to have changed the game. Civil society, the independent agency of ordinary citizens, is always the X factor that the Putin regime fails to consider in its otherwise well-crafted schemes to dominate its neighbors. It's a factor the Kremlin doesn't understand because it seems to deny its very existence. They call it Russophobia. They call it a Western plot. They call it everything but what it truly is. Ordinary citizens with agency taking their future into their own hands. This does not compute for Putin's Kremlin. They didn't see it coming in Ukraine, and they didn't see it coming in Georgia. But here it is, and it deserves our support. Keep telling us what you think on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm Brian Whitmore, and this was a vertical video.